Interesting news in Gainesville, Florida, as an arrest warrant has been issued for former city staff specialist Natwana Clark. The former city employee is wanted by police after failing to show up in court for her sentencing. Sentencing date had been moved back several times since she was first charged back in 2017 for using city credit cards to pay for vacations and a Brazilian butt lift. Back in 2017, 4 other city employees were suspended for not providing better oversight as this scheme was allowed to go on. Remarkably, after the theft was reported and these 4 other city employees were also suspended, some Democrat officials, like Commissioner Charles Gostin, attempted to downplay the level of corruption by saying that department officials' main mistake was being too trusting. He also said, quote, "I don't think there's too much you can do," while claiming that his biggest worry was that he hoped that going forward it doesn't affect the hiring of future minorities. Other Democrat officials like Commissioner Helen Warren tried making similar excuses, saying that she wanted to focus more on corrective behavior than actually punishing the wrongdoing. She said, quote, "The desired action is that this never happens again. We have some really great stuff that's going on in this department, and they got relaxed." Warren said she won't push for heavier punishment and believes the department has been embarrassed and will correct its own mistakes. Quote, "It's just paperwork," she said. "Look at it." According to the website voterrecords.com, Natwana Cherie Clark is a registered Democrat. There's another article on this over at Gainesville.com with the title "Embezzlement Suspect Clark, a No-Show in Court." Article opens saying an arrest warrant has been issued for former Gainesville city employee Natwana Clark, charged with stealing more than $93,000 in public dollars after she failed to show up for her sentencing hearing Wednesday. Clark was arrested more than 3 years ago for larceny and fraud charges after a city investigation found she swiped her work-issued credit card over 136 times for unauthorized purchases, most notably a Brazilian butt lift procedure. Among the other findings in the investigation, Clark used her boss's credit cards 36 more times for purchases adding up to roughly $31,000 and spent nearly $900 on a co-worker's credit card. The now 36-year-old's court proceedings have been rescheduled and delayed several times since her 2017 arrest. She was scheduled to be sentenced on Wednesday morning after agreeing in January to enter a plea deal, but did not show up. In the deal, Clark agreed to the minimum 2-year sentence in prison with a maximum of 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a nearly $92,000 payment in restitution. A few minutes after the hearing was supposed to start and Clark was nowhere to be found, the judge asked her attorney to see whether the former city employee of 2 years could be found. Matt Landsman from the Public Defender's Office returned to the courtroom 10 minutes later and said his attempts to call Clark and her family were unsuccessful, and he believes her phone may have been disconnected. "As of right now, I am not prepared to go forward with the sentencing without her," he told the judge. Following that, the judge, at the state attorney representative's request, issued a capias for Clark's arrest for failure to appear. If she is picked up, she will not be allowed to post bail, the judge ruled in the abbreviated hearing. Same article then notes that Clark has faced similar charges in other Florida counties prior to her employment in Gainesville. Shortly after her arrest, the Sun obtained records showing Clark was arrested in Leon County for fraudulent charges and an outstanding warrant in Orange County. In Orange County, Clark reportedly sold fellow Hughes Supply employees banking and personal information data to a third party. Her 7 felony charges there, including 5 counts of fraudulent use of personal identification, scheming to defraud, and burglary of a structure, were dismissed after she pleaded no contest. County Public Defender Stacey Scott said that while it's uncommon for defendants not to show up for sentencing, they could have legitimate reasons for not coming. Quote, "It just depends on how the state attorney wants to try and address it," she said. "Sometimes the judges don't let it impact the case at all. There could be a totally legitimate reason they didn't appear, and even if they didn't show up willfully, the outcome really varies." Another article back from 2017 again points out that Clark's legal troubles began before she was hired at the city, and the city's Human Resources Department knew that when hiring her. A city report found that the city's Human Resources Department failed to properly execute the city's employee background screening and didn't advise the hiring department about concerns in Clark's history, allowing her to be hired. The same article back from 2017 says that an auditor's report painted Clark as an intelligent worker who was eager to help and who could legitimately have earned promotions had she not made illegitimate purchases, even during her new employee probation. The report said Clark explained her, quote, "likely noticeable condition of living beyond her means" by telling co-workers she had a boyfriend who bought her things. In one instance, Clark sent an edible arrangements bouquet to her office, telling co-workers they were from the generous boyfriend. It wasn't until the city's Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs Department was found to have overspent its budget that Russ Etling, the city's cultural affairs manager, questioned Clark about the legitimacy of some of the purchases. The report said that Etling noted to Clark that multiple payments seemed to go toward her PayPal account titled NC83FAMU for her initials, birth year, and college. Clark replied, "Yeah, where's my money?" It was also found that Clark used city money for things like her cable television bill, food, highway tolls, a television, and other expenses. Purchase records show that Clark titled items like the 70-inch TV as holiday decor and Walmart purchases as kitchen supplies. Clark bought a $399 specialty framing glue kit that was actually Indian virgin human hair, according to the state attorney's investigation. Other purchases included seafood, her cell phone bill, a drone, a dining room table, a touchscreen laptop, Kevin Durant shoes, 2 drifting scooter boards, iPods, and edible arrangements, records show. More than $800 said to have been spent on citizen awards and holiday decor were purchases from an online clothing store. Documents released in September of 2017 show investigators gathered a trash bag worth of evidence from a commercial bin behind Clark's Gainesville apartment after her arrest. In it, they found an altered document showing that she attempted to dupe a former employer into paying for a funeral and stole personal information from 13 co-workers at another job. In the trash, law enforcement also found altered City of Gainesville payroll printouts, a 2013 Internal Revenue Service document for $2,800 in unpaid taxes, and a 2015 document for $31,700 in student loans with a 15% wage garnishment. According to the documents, detectives also found paperwork from 2010 from an Apopka funeral home outlining costs for the funeral of a 65-year-old Tavares woman. An investigative report said the document was modified similar to the city payroll paperwork and altered the cost the woman's family owed for the funeral from roughly $1,400 to $9,000. Clark added her name as a recipient of funds. The document was then sent to Lowe's, Clark's employer at the time, for an employee relief fund where she asked the company to help pay the owed amount. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next with Natwana Cherie Clark after she failed to show up in court this week to receive her prison sentence. Article from earlier this year points out that Clark initially faced up to 35 years in prison. That was before she agreed to a later deal that would send her to state prison between 2 and 15 years. Please leave a comment and tell me what you think about this latest update. If you could give this video a thumbs up, click the like button, that's greatly appreciated, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I'd like to once again thank everyone who has supported the channel over at Patreon or PayPal. Even a few dollars makes a huge difference, helps me keep talking about these issues. Patreon.com/realityreader or paypal.me/realityreader. You can find both those links down in the video description where you can support this channel directly. Another reminder, you can also find me over on Twitter for more updates. Reality Reader is my name over on Twitter. At Reality Reader, you can find me there. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.